Anya Hart here. Thank you for joining us on Hollywood Live. Hey everybody, welcome to Hollywood Live. So glad you're here with me today because we've always got something special. And my guest today has been a beacon in the entertainment business for more than 25 years. The name Sheila Eldridge means one thing: excellence. I'm so glad that she's my friend and I'm glad she's joining me. Hey Sheila.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Well, you know, you've always got some great stuff going on. We want to talk about the Them Awards coming right up. But before I get into that, I got to go back a little bit, girl, because like I said, you have been a beacon in this entertainment industry for a long time. It all started, I remember you before Orchid Entertainment, but Orchid Entertainment was your company. Remember those days?
That was the beginning. That was the beginning.
What was it about you that made you know that long ago that you could be a force in this industry?
I didn't know. I just have this, and I probably get it from my mother. It's just a can-do attitude. And you know, I'm from Washington, D.C., and everybody in Washington, D.C., the goal is to work for the government. So I got an internship in the government, and I was always late, and I was happy, you know. And so I remember my mother saying to me when I graduated from Howard, she said, you know, you're not that 9 to 5 girl. So you need to figure out what you're going to do that allows you a little more freedom. Okay. And so I moved to California and started working in the record industry and music industry, and then got laid off from a job. And my mother said, I'll give you $500 to get started. At that time, $500 went a long way. And that's how I started Orchid. That's right. That's how I started Orchid PR. And I called it Orchid because I figured a man would never name their company Orchid. So that way it was a nice subtle way of letting people know it was owned by a female. And that's really where it started. And I've never turned around.
You have never, ever, ever looked back. Of course, the company is now called Miles Ahead Entertainment, which I really love that name. And you've done so many good things. We could get into them, but right now let's talk about the awards, the Them Awards, because it was back, I think, in 2011. Well, first of all, let me back up. Cafe Mocha is a broadcast entertainment entity that you created. And when was that started? Was that
we
2000?
started Cafe Mocha 10 years ago.
Okay, so it was 2011.
Yeah, we celebrated
Okay.
our 10th anniversary last year, which was a little interesting, you know. And so we have been doing, but Cafe Mocha is, of course, radio from a woman's perspective, and it's hosted by Lonnie Love, Angelique, and Yo-Yo. Mm-hmm. And it's just, we call it lifestyle radio because we have a good conversation with the best backdrop of music. So when we started it, a lot of the Basketball Wives shows were on, and some other shows that just didn't depict what we felt Black women were about. There's more to us than fighting. And so we said, well, why don't we just real simple, like I said, can do, let's call it the Salute Her Awards. Mm-hmm. And we honored women. So in the last 10 years, we've honored over 175 women. But for our 10th anniversary, I said, let's switch this a little bit and let's honor men, women, and organizations that are making a difference. Because the common denominator is that everyone is making a difference in their own way, in their own fields. And we're hoping that their story will inspire others to have that kind of can-do attitude and just make a difference, just whatever you can do. And that's kind of how it started. So that's how we moved into Salute Them Awards, because we're doing, you know, music and men and women and organizations, essentially.
And you've got some incredible names of people that you are saluting this year. I mean, we start with Sly Stone and then work our way back from there?
Girl, we went on a mission to find Sly Stone. And you know, I always say, if you want to stay in the game, then you have to keep young people around you. Mm-hmm. So I have some young people around me that they just don't take no for an answer. And this young man that works with me, Alex Hill, I said, I want Sly Stone. And he was like, who's Sly Stone? So I said, I schooled him on who Sly Stone was. He came back 3 weeks later and said, I found Sly Stone. And I was like, no, no way. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. He said, no, I really did. I was like, you really did? And he really did. And we got Sly Stone. So he
And
really
you
made
got,
kind of one of my dreams come true because I always, we're honoring Sly for his music, not necessarily
okay.
for his life. We honor
Yeah.
him for his music, but he deserves it. Okay. And you'll
Oh,
see.
no question. No
Yes.
question. Actually, he needs to be honored for just living as long as the kind of life he's had too.
Woo! Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Exactly. Just for still being here.
Just for still being here. I mean, if anybody is a survivor in Slidestone, who
Oh
are
my
some of the,
gosh.
and you've teamed up with the Black News Channel, which is fairly new. Shout out to them over there because I do the morning show with the crew
Oh,
sometimes.
good. Okay. Yeah,
But
we're really excited about that. This is our first year going to broadcast because we did these events all over the country with our local affiliates. And then when last year the pandemic hit, we decided to go virtual and to take it, and move it into production. And so we went virtual and we call it's the Saluting Our Culture Award Series. So in March we honored women, and
right.
of course, for Black Music Month, we're on in music, and in September we have a real surprise for you. But it's a series of three, and it's Saluting Our Culture Awards. And besides
Yeah.
Sly, we're doing Earth, Wind, and Fire. I think it's important that we do a nice body of work. So it's Earth, Wind, and Fire. It's Darlene Love, who I don't know whether you're familiar with her.
Oh, of
She
course.
is amazing, and she's another one that's still here. Then we have Jamal Joseph, which is a young choreographer that wrote a book for young boys in dance, and
Oh,
that has
nice.
worked with Beyonce. We have Billy Woodruff, who started with BET doing videos, is now doing movies. Patrice Rushen, who I love dearly. She was actually my first client, and she's such a trailblazer for women.
Yes, she is.
Ludacris, who does amazing work. And then, of course, Dr. Bobby Jones. Okay. Okay. And then
And,
June Ambrose, the stylist, June Ambrose. So it's a nice, unique body of honorees that we have.
oh, I know. And I got to tell you something. You all nailed it on that virtual show last year.
Well, wait
Uh,
till you see this one. We're doing this one from the National Museum of African American Music in Nashville. Oh, Tanya, you have to go there. It
that's
is amazing. I mean,
yeah.
just amazing what they have been able to do, the curators there with our music. It's beautiful. You'll see, because everything is shot from there.
Wow. I'm so excited for that and so excited for you. I've got to ask you though, again, like you said, it's that can-do attitude, but unlike a lot of people, you have been able for years to get corporate sponsors to do pretty much anything you wanted them to do. How does that happen?
Well,
Because,
not enough.
you got somebody
Okay.
to pay for all this.
But you know, I believe that it's a human relations business. And so I approach my corporate sponsors and my partners, I call them corporate partners, just the way I would anyone. I find out what they are looking for. I help them understand what our mission and passion and agenda is. And if it fits, it aligns with them, then it aligns. If it doesn't, so we've had Toyota for 7 years, we've had AARP for 7 years. They watched us grow from little small events to virtual to now broadcast. So we've been blessed that way with those two big corporate sponsors that we would not be here if we didn't. But a lot of it has to do with not always asking, what can you do for me, but what can we do for you? How can we partner? And this was long before it became fashionable for corporate
Right.
America to support Black lives. These people were there they had a real mission long before that. And I think that's very important.
I was going to say that's very important to say because obviously, after George Floyd's untimely death a year ago, corporate America is starting to finally step up in many ways that they never have. But you're right; these people have been around forever. We need to applaud them for that, but also thinking forward and just moving us all forward into a space where everybody is on a level playing field. Do you see that happening? Because, you know, we see all these projects, we see people almost beginning to green light various projects, but are we leveling the playing field?
Let's put it this way. We're on the playing field now. Okay. I think before we were watching from the sidelines, we're on the playing field now. Now, what happens with us sitting in those decision-making positions of sitting on boards? Because it's nice for corporate America to support from a marketing standpoint that looks good for them too. But what difference are they really making to our community, support our community? So I think it's important that there are more African Americans that sit on corporate boards. And I see that beginning. You know, I loved what the executives did in terms of voter rights. I'm very concerned about voter rights and what is going on that is not being talked about. So I'm glad to see that corporate America and our Black executives are taking that on. But I think it's essential that we have more people of color sitting on major boards. And that's when we're in the game. Okay.
Yeah.
That's when we're in the game.
No, you're absolutely, absolutely correct. I'm going to let you go because I know you're always busy, but there's got to be there's probably a whole bunch of stories, but what moment stands out in your storied career working with one or two of the celebrities that we all know and love? What would you say, just that one moment that stands out?
Ooh, that's a good one. I think it's En Vogue. I've worked with En Vogue now since their inception. And that's rare where you work with an artist that long. I've watched them grow. I've watched them go through a myriad of, transitions and growth in them as young women to now mothers and, and everything. So really having that long relationship with them has been, for me, so important. And I guess the other two is Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis. They are two men that taught me the music industry and taught me about entrepreneurship and helped me understand that this is a human relations business. It's all about people. It's all about how you handle people, how you talk to people, how you engage with people. It's all about the relationships that you build along the way. So.
Well, you have built some incredible relationships.
Well, look, we go back from Boston. Remember?
I was going to say, we go back to college days, so we won't even go back that far. And I still love you dearly. So proud to be your friend, and so glad and excited about this show, which airs on June 6th on the Black News Channel. For those of you who can actually, we didn't think we had it here in my part of the woods, but we do. So everybody can find it some kind of way to tune in.
Good, and if not, it streams. It's going to be streaming on because some people don't, the millennials, they don't necessarily watch. Okay, they stream.
No, you're right.
But it'll be streaming on salutethemawards.com. The stream will start at 7, and then the broadcast is at 10 on BNC, 10 Eastern Standard Time.
Okay, perfect. I'm so excited about seeing this new museum. Everybody is talking about it. Sheila, we love you. As I started out by saying, the name Sheila Eldridge means one thing, excellence. And the other thing is, can you send me one of those white hats, girl? Because that would really...
You know that.
Fabulous hat.
Thank you so much. I love hats. Okay.
I know you do. Thank you, Sheila, for just being you and for all you do and for all you've done to move our culture and race forward, because you have really been a beacon. So thank you
so much. I appreciate your support.
Oh, absolutely. And everybody, don't forget to tune in or, stream it. You don't want to miss the Them Awards. It will be off the charts with everybody, including Sly Stone. And thanks for tuning in today. As we say, we always bring you everything we got. It's always good. So take care of yourself and somebody else. Have a good one.